Welcome. Today, we're going to explore some of the most valuable and sought-after coins in the market, focusing on the quarter-dollar coins, along with a few rare 1-cent and silver coins that have become true stars in the coin-collecting world. These rare treasures are not just pieces of history. They are also some of the most valuable finds that collectors are hunting for today. Whether you're a coin enthusiast, a history lover, or simply someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of American currency, this video is for you. So let's dive in. First up, the 1974 Washington quarter belongs to the copper, nickel-clad era that began in 1965, replacing the earlier 90% silver composition. By 1974, the clad coinage system was well established, and quarters of this year circulated heavily across the United States. Most surviving examples today are found in old, worn condition, as few were saved at the time in mint rolls. The coin features the John Flanagan portrait of George Washington on the obverse, with inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1974. The reverse carries the heraldic eagle with spread wings, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, along with the denomination quarter dollar and the nation's name United States of America. The quarter weighs 5.67 grams, is 24.3 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge. Its composition is copper-nickel clad over a pure copper core. The 1974 quarter was produced at 3 U.S. mints. Philadelphia, no mint mark 801,456,000 struck. Denver, D mint mark 353,160,300 struck. San Francisco, S mint mark, proof only 2,612,568 struck. This makes 1974 one of the highest mintage years of the 1970s. Because of the massive production, most 1974 quarters in old circulated condition are common and only worth slightly above face value. 1974 P. Philadelphia, circulated heavily worn examples trade for 30 to 50 cents. Slightly better circulated coins with decent detail may bring 75 cents to $1. 1974 D. Denver, circulated similar to Philadelphia issues, worth 30 to 75 cents in old condition, with cleaner examples pushing closer to $1. 1974 S-proof, clad. These were issued in proof sets for collectors. In old or mishandled condition, they are usually worth $1.50 to $3, though nice proofs can bring more. The 1974 quarter also produced several collectible mint errors, which even in circulated condition are much more valuable than regular strikes. Off-center strikes. Old circulated examples typically sell for $20 to $75, depending on how far off-center the strike is. Clipped planchets. Coins with a curved clip are worth $15 to $40 in old condition. Broad strikes. Flattened quarters without reeded edges can bring $15 to $35. Double dies. Though less dramatic than earlier dates, some minor doubling exists. In old condition, these might fetch $20 to $50. Wrong planchet errors. Occasionally, a 1974 quarter was struck on a dime or nickel planchet. These are rare and worth hundreds of dollars, even in circulated condition. The 1974 quarter in circulated condition is extremely common in pocket change today, but collectors still save them for several reasons. Historical placement. Just before the U.S. bicentennial coinage, 1975 to 1976, making them the last standard designed before a major national issue. Proof issues. The 1974 S-proof is scarcer and collected by those completing modern quarter-proof runs. Error hunting. Error examples from this year are prized by variety specialists. Affordable starter coin. Because most are inexpensive in old condition, they are an easy entry point for beginner collectors. 801 million struck. Circulated value 30 cents to $1. Denver, D 353 million struck, circulated value 30 cents to $1. S-proof 2.6 million struck, old/mishandled proofs worth $1.50 to $3. Errors, $15 to $500 depending on type, off-center, clip, double die, wrong planchet, etc. Copper, nickel-clad, no silver. Historical significance. Last regular design before the bicentennial quarters of 1975 to 1976. Next up, the 1966 Washington quarter is an important transitional coin in U.S. numismatic history. It was struck during the early years after the U.S. Mint eliminated silver from circulating dimes and quarters. Before 1965, all U.S. quarters were composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. But in 1965, the mint switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition, outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The 1966 quarter is therefore a clad issue, not silver, though many people mistakenly believe otherwise. The obverse of the 1966 quarter features the portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1966. The reverse design carries the heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath it. The edge is reeded, and the coin weighs 5.67 grams, the same as today's quarters. During the mid-1960s, the mint faced a nationwide coin shortage, largely due to silver hoarding when silver prices rose. To combat this, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, which removed mint marks from all coins from 1965 through 1967. This means that all 1966 quarters were struck without a mint mark, regardless of whether they were produced at Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. The mint produced an enormous quantity of 1966 quarters to alleviate the shortage. A total of 821,101,500 quarters were struck. Because of this high mintage, circulated examples remain extremely common. In old, circulated condition, most 1966 quarters are worth only slightly more than face value. Typical circulated pieces with wear, dull surfaces, and scratches usually trade for 30 cents to 50 cents. Coins with heavier wear, where Washington's hair curls and the eagle's feathers are flattened, often still carry only face value. However, coins in higher circulated grades, with lighter wear and better detail, can bring 75 cents to $1 because collectors want examples of the early clad issues in attractive condition. No mint sets in 1966. Instead of normal proof and mint sets, the Mint issued special mint sets, SMS, from 1965 to 1967. These sets included higher quality coins with better strikes and satin-like finishes. While not as reflective as proofs, they are more attractive than circulation strikes. An SMS 1966 quarter in old-handled condition may bring $1.50 to $3. No mint mark rule. Because mint marks were removed, all 1966 quarters look identical regardless of the mint facility. This makes them less diverse in types, but more historically unique. Errors and varieties. Error coins from 1966 are particularly collectible. Examples include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and die cracks. Even in old condition, error quarters from 1966 can sell for $15 to $100 plus, depending on rarity and visual appeal. Transitional confusion. Some people mistakenly believe 1966 quarters are silver because they were issued shortly after the switch. While regular 1966 quarters contain no silver, collectors still find them historically significant as part of the clad coinage introduction. Even in old, circulated condition, 1966 quarters hold some collector interest because they mark the beginning of the modern coinage era. Though they are not rare, they serve as an important representation of a transitional period when the U.S. was moving away from precious metal coinage. Collectors often save higher-grade circulated examples, especially those with minimal damage or unusual errors. Composition: copper-nickel clad, no silver. Mintage: 821,101,500, very high. Mint mark: none. All mints struck without mint marks 1965 to 1967. Circulated value: 30 to 75 cents typically, $1 plus for nicer examples. Special mint set issue: $1.50 to $3 in old-handled condition. Errors and varieties: $15 to $100 plus, depending on type. Next up, the 1983 quarter dollar, also called the Washington quarter, is one of the most notable coins from the early 1980s because it was produced in large numbers, but very few high-quality examples exist today. This is because the U.S. Mint did not issue official mint sets in 1982 and 1983, meaning collectors had almost no way to save pristine coins at the time. As a result, most 1983 quarters available today are found in old, circulated condition, showing heavy wear and tear. The coin features the classic George Washington portrait on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan, with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1983. On the reverse, the traditional eagle design with outstretched wings sits on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below. The edge of the coin is reeded, and its composition is copper-nickel clad, weighing 5.67 grams. In 1983, the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, struck 673,535,000 quarters, while the Denver Mint, D mint mark, produced 617,806,446 quarters. Both are considered common in circulation but hard to find in uncirculated state. The San Francisco Mint struck both clad and silver-proof coins for collectors, though many of these are also found with handling marks or old condition wear. In old circulated condition, most 1983 P and 1983 D quarters are only worth 30 cents to 75 cents each, slightly above face value, due to their heavy use in commerce. The surfaces are usually dull, with flattened details on Washington's hair and the eagle's wings, as well as scratches, nicks, and discoloration. Despite being common in circulation, they remain collectible because they represent a year of unusual scarcity for mint state rolls. The 1983 S-clad proof quarters were struck for proof sets and are sometimes found in worn or mishandled condition. Even in old condition, they are more valuable than circulation strikes, typically worth $1.50 to $3. The 1983 S silver-proof quarters, struck in 90% silver, hold even more value due to their metal content. In old or circulated condition, they are generally worth $5 to $7, based mainly on silver bullion value. Collectors also look for errors and varieties from 1983 quarters, which are rare and significantly more valuable even in circulated condition. Examples include off-center strikes, double die obverse or reverse, broad strikes, and clipped planchets. Such pieces in old condition can range anywhere from $20 to over $500, depending on rarity and eye appeal. The biggest reason 1983 quarters are important to collectors is because uncirculated examples are extremely scarce, so even old condition coins are saved more often than other dates. This is why 1983 quarters, despite being common in circulation, remain an essential piece in modern coin collections. Next up, the 1982 Washington quarter dollar is an especially interesting coin for collectors because, like 1983, the U.S. Mint did not produce official mint sets or proof sets for circulation strikes in that year. This lack of government-issued collector sets means that most 1982 quarters available today are coins that circulated heavily in commerce. As a result, well-preserved pieces are scarce, and most examples exist in old, worn condition. The 1982 quarter follows the classic Washington quarter format designed by John Flanagan. The obverse features a portrait of George Washington, with inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the year 1982. The reverse continues the long-used heraldic eagle design, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below. The coin has a reeded edge, weighs 5.67 grams, and is composed of copper-nickel clad over a copper core. 1982 P. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark 500,931,000 struck. 1982 D. Denver Mint, D. Mint mark 480,042,788 struck. No San Francisco proof quarters were made for 1982, since proof sets skipped this year. This means only circulation strikes exist from Philadelphia and Denver, making both issues harder to locate in pristine condition compared with most other years. Because of the massive mintages, 1,982 quarters in old circulated condition are still common. However, their lack of mint set preservation makes them collectible even when worn. 1982 P. Old circulated condition typically worth 30 to 75 cents, depending on the amount of wear. Commonly shows flat details on Washington's curls and the eagle's feathers, with scratches and discoloration. 1982, D. Old circulated conditions similar to the Philadelphia issue. Circulated examples are worth 30 to 75 cents. Coins with less damage can sell closer to $1. Key varieties and errors. The 1982 D quarter is famous for its major variety. The 1982 D quarter struck on a 90% silver planchet. This occurred accidentally when leftover silver planchets were struck in Denver. Even in circulated condition, this rare error can sell for $2,000 to $5,000 or more, depending on silver conformation and weight. Other error types from 1982, such as clipped planchets, off-center strikes, and double dies, can also command strong premiums even in old condition. Circulated error examples often bring $20 to $200, depending on severity. The absence of mint sets in 1982 means that most surviving quarters were pulled from pocket change, rolls, or bank bags. This gives them a unique appeal to modern coin collectors. While old, worn examples are still common in circulation today, they are saved at higher rates than quarters of other dates because of the difficulty of finding mint-state examples. Philadelphia, P500 plus million made, old circulated value 30 to 75 cents. Denver, D480 plus million made, old circulated value 30 to 75 cents. No proofs issued. Key variety, 1982. D struck on silver planchet worth thousands, even in worn condition. Errors. Off-center, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and double dies add significant value.